a 110.03, and
Yeah.
I believe Goron, I see on his stream, he has a 112.46. So both of the players are getting ready for their match, and they're about to start.
112.46 is still a very good time, even if you're racing someone with a 110.
Absolutely.
So.
I think like throughout the tournament, if you're posting like 112s, I think that's pretty solid, and everyone's like also getting around improving their times to about that level.
Yeah. I had someone that was almost tying how my run was going when they were racing me, when I was like 119 and they had like a mid 120 something. Like it was like 125, I think. So you always have to think that PB doesn't always inherit skill level, and you have to just hope that a race is as close as it can be.
Yeah, I think so too. I would say that Dram is the favorite in this match, but you know, it's a race, and anything can go wrong. So we've seen some like highly favored players have a few slip ups, and there have been a couple of upsets here and there. So GoronJackson's definitely not like he's not gonna get blown away here. Not at all, I don't think. But this is the Cap Kingdom, and it's pretty straightforward. You don't really stop for anything here. You're just gonna go straight to the boss fight at the end of the stage, and then you just clear it.
It's an introduction kingdom. They're not gonna add. If you come here later in the game, you're gonna have a ton of moons that are available to grab. But as of right now, this is just your introduction area, kind of like your airstrip, if anything. So you'll come back later, and there can be stuff for you, but in an any percent run, you just kind of run through it and get out.
Yeah, so Dram is fighting the Brutal right now. This is Topper, and it's pretty tame. You know, there's only one minor nuance with this fight, and that's to make sure that you jump on his hat. Make sure you jump on the hat that he's in when he starts like spinning around, and that just shortens that phase.
Every single Brutal, and for the most part, almost every boss fight in general, with only a few exceptions I can think of, either intentional or an unintentional. I'm not really sure which one is which, but either through intentional or unintentional means, almost every single fight in this game, boss fight, has some sort of shortcut to it that will let you skip attack cycles or something of the sort. So it's very interesting to me because many people in this game, when they talk about how much they like it, talk about the movement. And in a boss fight, you're kind of confined to a small area. So I enjoy how even when you're in like an arena and having to fight a boss, you can still find ways to use your moves to advantage to make everything go faster.
Yeah, that's like the beauty of the speedrun. Just abusing sort of what you have to your disposal.
Especially in Odyssey, when you can capture everything in your sight.
So there's the first instance of Dram bonking. The players are going to try to avoid that at all costs because it just really stops Mario in his tracks.
Yeah, it takes like 2 seconds, the animation. It's just bad all around. So, Dram and Goron are both in Cascade Kingdom. I was busy talking, didn't bring up this place is called Cascade Kingdom. And Dram absolutely nails their dinosaur jump, which is a trick where the dinosaur, you capture the dinosaur, and if the left foot of the dinosaur hits the trampoline, it will go bouncing very high up in the air, and you can use that to reach this boss fight against Madame Brood early.
Yeah, basically, like, Mario does not go nearly as high on that trampoline, so you just take that T-Rex, and it just propels you all the way up there to the boss fight, which is pretty good. And we're having some really good boss fights here. Basically, the way that you execute this is you're taking the pet chain chomp, and you're capturing it, and then you just attacking Madame over and over, and you're shortening the attack phase by like what they do there is they do a backward somersault to land on the chain chomp's head whenever she throws it at them. So that's very well executed. This is pretty tight so far.
Yeah, Goron had a little bit of trouble with that execution, and Dram absolutely nailed it, but they're still, again, rather close.
Yeah, I would say in most kingdoms there's a boss fight like that, but it's not mandatory in all of them. And then they're awarded that multi-moon, and they need one more moon here, so they get it atop the high cliff.
Not including the brutals, like all the things such as the mecha brutals and the normal brutal fights and stuff like Bowser's. I think kingdoms like this there are 6 different of those types of boss fights, and we won't even be seeing a single one. Well, no, that's a lie. We'll be seeing, I believe, one of them. And as you saw, before they go to the Odyssey, they had to grab that one moon. And that's going to be how this game works. This game is different from most other 3D Mario games. In fact, that in this game, you do need a certain amount of moons to beat the game. But you can't say, get 30 moons in Sand Kingdom, like we're coming up to now, and just then go to different kingdoms. To progress to other kingdoms in the game, you have to get a set minimum from each level. So the amount of moons you get in each level is not going to change between routes, because your goal is to collect the minimum amount and then get out.
Yeah, that's pretty well put. Just the game is kind of linear in that way. But as far as the moon collection goes, in certain areas, you can sort of pick and choose which moons you want.
Yeah.
So here in the town, they're actually going to pick up a few here, and there might be a bit of a routing difference. We'll see what happens.
But I bet every single person who's done a route for this game loves that sort of linearity to it.
Yeah, it's not too complicated. And it looks like both players are skipping the employees only moon. I didn't see either of them go for it. They're going straight to the top of the dune. And
neither of them got the bird either.
Right, yeah. So this is a little different from what I'm used to seeing, but that's what I'm talking about. Like, you can sort of pick and choose which moons you want to go for. And early on, they've decided to cut that one out.
I don't know anything about the Sphinx Clip route. Do you think they're both going to be doing that?
I actually don't know. That would be pretty wild if they did that.
I have to give mad respect for even attempting that, if that's what they're doing. I don't know the Sphinx Clip route, so I can't tell. Just like I have mad respect for anyone who'd even think about going for the 2D shortcut at the end of the game in a tournament. Like, they're just absolutely crazy.
Yeah, for sure. So it looks like Dram, I think he was trying to manipulate the bullet bill over there to spawn, but unfortunately he didn't get it, and it looks like it allowed Goron to catch up to him, so these guys are a little bit tied.
That bullet bill can kind of be rude. Both of them getting lost pillar.
Yeah, now they're rolling all the way over here. It seems like a huge detour, but they're grabbing the luggage moon over here.
Yeah, this moon is pretty fast. Based on their moon count, I think they are both going to be doing Sphinx Clip, but I can't be sure.
Yeah, looks like I'm just going to answer the question. Go straight in to the treasure vault.
Oh, they're both answering. They're doing the quiz. I'm only mildly disappointed.
It's a bit... I think this is a good choice, especially for races. because you go into this vault and you just collect some coins, and they're gonna need these coins to buy some moons in shops later on. They need to buy at least 2 moons in one shop in different kingdoms. So
But
you can
now they
get
both have a lot of money, so they'll
right.
be fine.
Yeah, the treasure vault just gives them that much.
So I noticed they did that moon and skipped getting the bird. Did they both do a backup from missing the bird? Because I saw neither of them really attempted to grab the bird. Or is this an actual route that I don't know?
You got me. So I believe that skipping the bird was their choice. So they might have to collect a different moon near the end. As you can see right here, they're collecting
No, they'll be
moons
fine.
here in the ruins. They'll be fine. Okay.
I mean, unless you don't want to do music notes. That's a thing. They could have skipped music notes if they wanted to instead of skipping the bird.
Oh
Or
boy.
maybe they think they'll be able to get the bird later.
Perhaps, yeah. So, unfortunately, right there, Goron falls into the Kool-Aid, into the wastes. That's going to cost him a death, and he's going to have to give it another try with this bullet bill. All right, there it is. Second try, gets into the Jaxi Ruins moon.
Mhm.
And you can see the route here. You go into town, then into the ruins, collect your moons, and then you come back around to the Oasis area.
Oh,
And
he's getting bird at the
yeah.
Oasis. Okay.
Yeah, that was very unfortunate for Dram because the bird was like right there for him, and he wasn't able to hit it.
Yeah. Well, he still can get music notes here, so not the worst loss. Goron having what I can only imagine be a little bit of too sensitive motion controls as he dives headfirst into a cactus.
Oh, he's really going at it for that where the birds gather. The moon right there, but finally getting it. It took him a couple of ground pounds.
It took him a while to get the dune, I noticed too.
But yeah, basically the routing here is now that you come back to the Oasis, you're very nearby the Odyssey, and you just go straight back to it, and you're done with the kingdom.
Yeah. So now you're given the first of 2 choices in the run, where you can choose between which 2 kingdoms to do. You'll end up having to do both kingdoms in the end, so it really doesn't matter which one you do first. So we're gonna go to Lake first because that's the first option. So if you just keep mashing A, you'll automatically click Lake. So we just do Lake.
Yeah, it's a pretty short kingdom too. Like I think having to do like back to back sand and wooded, because wooded also you collect a lot of moons there, so might feel a little exhausted going that
Yeah,
way.
especially because they're both very Sand and Wooded are both very movement heavy kingdoms. Having Lake in between them is a nice little kind of. I don't want to necessarily say break period because this is not the easiest of kingdoms, especially the boss here. If you mess up, can be very devastating, but this is definitely a calmer kingdom.
All right, gonna do another little capture here. As we see Dram actually just gonna use Mario to get that moon right there. At Cheap Crossing, and then grab himself a Cheap. And now you're underwater just collecting a bunch of moons.
Something about this game that people don't really know, first off, because they don't read the action guide for Cheap, which I don't even know if this is in the action guide for Cheap. If you press both the dive and surface button at the same time, which I believe surface is A and B, and then dive is Y and X, either of those works, you can do the spin, which makes your movement speed faster. And I don't know why, but I personally always forget that the spin exists. So I lose a lot of time in these kingdoms just not going fast.
Yeah, so this is the second brutal fight. It's pretty simple. Unfortunately, Dram getting a little too close to the boss fight there. And oh man, he's taking a bunch of damage. He needs to be careful.
Yeah. Rango is, in my opinion, the hardest of the 4.
And Dram takes a death.
I believe you grabbed that checkpoint at least.
Yeah, so that basically catches Goron up. Right there, another slip up for Dram. Yeah, he's just way too close to him.
Mhm.
Maybe sort of
He messes up the fight.
yeah, not really expecting what's happening here.
This is rough for Dram.
All right,
There you go.
still pretty sketchy. He was down to
Yeah.
1 health on the second attempt, but he pulls through and he's gonna be behind GoronJackson, but he still has just playing game left.
Quite a way to go.
Yeah, these
Bit
guys are
less than
moving
an
on.
hour to go. Yeah, Rango is probably the hardest of the 4 brutals, in my opinion, not including, obviously, the mech.
Yeah, once he gets away from you, he starts hopping around. There's really nothing you can do about it. I don't know.
Yeah, if you don't get that skip right, the cycle skip right, you can't really recover from it. Meanwhile, Topper, if you hit the wrong hat, you can still, like, hit the hat with your own hat and kind of hit him against the wall and end the cycle. Every kind of other boss, if you mess up their cycle skip, team parts, if you mess up their cycle skip, you have a way to kind of recover and not lose as much time. But Rango, there's not really a way to recover from losing the cycle skip.
All right, the first thing we do here in the Wooden Kingdom is we gotta shake down this rabbit for the moon that he's got, and then we're gonna grab a rock and collect another moon there. So right off the bat, two moons right next to the Odyssey, real quickly.
I remember when the person that found that rock carrying and then running into the other rock, when that was found, because I was doing Lake in a race, and somebody was like, before you get to Wooded, use this, and I was like, oh my goodness. Because originally what the strat was you had to kick that moon all the way to that shop, and then just bounce the rock between the shopkeeper and yourself, because the shopkeeper, when it hit the rock, would count as the rock being hit, and that would destroy the rock faster. But speaking of that shopkeeper, when I was talking about that, that shopkeeper is one of the several kind of inside jokes in this community. His signature catchphrase of "spend money" gives a good laugh to everybody, and it's just a great time.
So we're sort of taking like a backdoor entrance to this area here.
Yeah, this is not intended.
You climb up that waterfall and into that river area. Gets you over here. You collect you bust a few nuts and you collect some moons.
Mhm.
And Dram is going straight for the floating pipe.
Doing a safe route. I
Yeah.
believe this route actually loses a whole second over the route that Goron is doing. If what I heard is correct. But the flood pipeway is one of the harder parts of the run, because you really don't want to take damage at all, but it's kind of hard with all the enemies. Dram executes it amazingly. And the reason you really don't want to get hit is because if you are not at full health when you collect a moon, it will add an extra animation to your moon get animation of you healing. And it wastes, I believe if you're at 2 HP, it wastes 2.2 seconds. And if you're at 1 HP, it wastes 2.5 seconds each when you get a moon.
So yeah, Dram still behind Goron here, but he's doing a little bit catching up. Goron taking some damage. That Piranha Plant is giving him a lot of trouble. As we see Dram going to the dead end for the nut here.
Yeah. And that did put Dram back in the lead, it looks like.
Nice little movement there. from Dram coming back. You defeat the Piranha Plant, and then you just leave the moon there. You go and grab the other one, just come back for it. So yeah, back and forth right off the bat in this match. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I have had the pleasure to be commentating several close matches this tournament, and this is definitely a great match so far.
Okay. That always scares me when you come to this this crumbling tower. The way that these guys get up here. But Dram pulls it off making it look easy, essentially, with the triple jump. Not too far behind him.
Yeah, Goron played that a little safe there, so he's going to lose a little bit of time. Here is going to be a little kind of mini skip. After collecting this moon, you're going to use the motion controls and try and jump up to this ledge above the alcove so you can keep the enemy and not have to ride the little path of flowers. Took Dram a little bit to get, but he eventually got it.
Yeah, let's see if Goron gets it first try. That might catch him up ever so slightly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he did.
Yeah, in these races, you're doing your best, and if you're keeping tabs on your opponent, you just need to, see if you can keep up with them. And Dram is having a hard time with these brutals. Man, it's killing him.
Yeah, this one is Spewart. He's debatably the easiest of the four. I don't know, a lot of people think Harriet is pretty easy. I disagree with that, but see him go down on both sides. This is definitely a very close race.
Yeah, Goron, I want to say, caught up a little bit there with Dram's little slip up on Spewart. But now that these guys got the multi-moon, they're going to exit the Wooded Kingdom, and yeah, they're moving on. Just a little cameo there from Dram to remind you all that he is on Team Farts, a fun little competitive team that's in the Super Mario Odyssey tournament here.
I mean, it has a lot of good runners on it.
Yeah,
we see in
for
chat.
sure. Yeah. Yeah, a few slip ups, but Dram's having fun and keeping a positive attitude, I would hope.
Absolutely.
And sometimes that's what you need to pull you through these matches.
Yes. I love this community so much.
Yeah, well, it's this game's only been out maybe like 6 weeks, and it's sort of just blew up, and now we have this tournament, and there's a lot of competition. There are a lot of strats being found. These guys are no slouches, as we see Dram scaring me there. Some of those platforms there you got to hit with your cap, and he may not have intended for that to happen, but we have our first Bowser fight.
So, Goron made a bit of a mistake there. So, there's a strat in this fight that what you're supposed to do is get your hat. You're supposed to grab Bowser's hat, but if you grab Bowser's hat when you're close to Bowser, you can punch him and get an attack on, and like get a hit on Bowser before he does his little jumping around the arena, creating shockwaves attack. And however, if you're too close to Bowser when he does that attack, when you're too close to Bowser and you do that and you grab the hat while you're too close, Bowser will just grab the hat back. So you gotta be careful that you're not too close so that you don't have Bowser grab the hat back and just waste time having him jump and then throw the hat again.
Yeah, so Dram is the first one to defeat Bowser. Even the little mistake there, Goron's still keeping up with him. And now we're coming up to one of the hardest kingdoms, I want to say, but
Yeah.
it's one of the shorter ones, but the difficulty definitely starts to ramp up around here. Oh boy, Dram almost took a fall into the purple Kool-Aid there, but
Yeah.
he readjusts himself, and now he's up here on the mountaintop.
Goron gets the jump fairly quickly, giving him a few seconds back.
Yeah, any sort of fall here into the Kool-Aid just kills you. So there, you're trying, like, all these jumps are pretty scary in my
Yeah.
opinion. But right
And-
there on top of the propeller platforms, you're grabbing a couple moons there.
And so what Dram just did and what Goron is about to do is they're going to kind of make Klepto fly away. So in this kingdom, what's intended to happen is there's certain terrain, certain like parts of the level that when you step on, Klepto, the bird that you may know from Mario 64, will kind of jump up in the or will fly out from their perch and steal Cappy. And then you have to go get Cappy back, or else you kind of can't leave the kingdom or do much in the kingdom. But when we did the skip at the beginning, we completely passed over the terrain where Klepto would kidnap Cappy. So by kind of getting Klepto to fly away from us there, we set a flag that, okay, if Klepto's in that position, that means he's already stolen Cappy. So that way Cappy won't get stolen when you go by this area, and you can get all the moons and finish the kingdom.
Yeah, it's a huge time loss if that cutscene triggers. So it's a really nice skip that you can do here in this kingdom. But it looks like neither of them made any sort of huge mistakes, and we're moving right along.
Mm-hmm. So I'd like to take a second to mention how much of just a massive troll this game is. So in the advertising for this game, in the advertisement for this game, there was one place every single person was excited for, and that was Metro Kingdom, the new Donk City. And so you're gonna see after Wooden, the game says you're gonna go there. Then you get interrupted with Cloud and Lost, and then you finally get there, and there's a massive storm caused by Bowser. There's a ton of rain, and it's dark, and it's just not what you saw. So Nintendo really likes to troll you there with their advertising, but this is many people's favorite kingdoms once they're out of this dark portion of the level.
Yeah, I have to agree. I really enjoyed this part of the game. One thing about this, like, beginning to this kingdom is not a lot of the moons are available to you, and with the exception of that one moon right there, the girder sandwich moon. So take some time to go that way, and that just gives you a nice little shortcut to where you want to be, which is here in the city hall that Dram just entered.
When they jumped on that little awning of the building, they did a skip because you're originally supposed to go to the left side of the kingdom and then go all the way through the construction site. But doing that skip not only skips having to go all that out of the way, but it also puts Girder Sandwich right on the beaten path of where you're going in the kingdom, which originally a lot of people didn't like getting that moon because it was so far out of the way, but this skip puts it right there. Oh no. Okay, that scared me. Dram kind of veered to the side there.
Yeah, you have to do this big long jump. You're over this huge gap, and it is very precarious when you go that way.
Absolutely. So this is a fight against Mecha Wiggly, and this is a least favorite in the run. And the reason why is going to be this second hit. So this boss, unlike most others, actually only takes 2 hits. But the thing is, this second hit, he's going to grow a lot longer in the mechanical body parts. And not only that, but unlike in this phase where if you don't beat him before he does like a little attack, he'll just go back to crawling. In the second phase, if you're not able to get all of his body segments before he does his attack, he'll go invincible and do another of his own attack cycle, and it wastes like 40 or so seconds. I don't think it's that much time. I think that's an exaggeration. But it's not good, so you have to get a 2 cycle with not very good motion control aiming, which fortunately Dram was able to do.
Yeah, not only that, the Mega Wiggler shoots these fireballs out at you, so you're getting attacked at the same time you're trying to, aim at the boss. It can be hard.
Goron also nailing the 2 cycle.
Yeah, if you really flub those shots there, like, you can lose a lot of time. So these guys are doing a good job, and this is a really good race. It's practically neck and neck.
It's practically team fights.
Yes. So now it's daytime. The storm is gone. The weather is clear, and now we can start collecting moons because there are a lot to collect here now.
Starting off this kingdom, though, this daytime portion, Graham's going to throw his hat that way, and then he's going to use motion controls to try and get Cappy to home in on the electrical pole. He did not get it, but what you do is you throw it near the electric pole, and then after collecting that moon, shake the controller to do the motion control Cappy home in. I did not know you could do that.
Hello. Okay, so we got some RC car skip. So this is the intended way. You're gonna see Goron capture this guy who's controlling the RC car. He backs it up. He does it the right. He does it like perfectly, but Dram just bypassed all of that, got on the scooter, and just bounced his way into the little toy area and just grabbed the moon by leaning into it.
Never seen that. That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it's a really awesome way to get that moon, and that's that's the beauty of this game being so new, is that strats are being found, and yeah, these guys are saving time.
It was definitely a great strat. So, we're now friends with a guy on a bench, so the run's basically over. That's the only important part of this run, is being friends with a guy on a bench.
Yeah, they collect a Girder Moon after they're being bench friends, and then warp their way back to where City Hall is. And now Dram is doing a little acrobatics here to get to the top of the moon, top of the building. You almost missed that moon.
That would have been very bad.
Yeah, it was a bit scary, but he corrects himself, and now he's gonna dive to the one above the pool here.
That's the one above the pool, pretty nice. If you miss that, you have to like go on the umbrella. Okay. Cafe. Bowser just wanted some audio screen time. I don't know. This game is very interesting.
You can hear it on the boombox.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Bowser has a good theme in this game. I love the sounds as you bump into all the people in here.
Yeah, I can only imagine like being in public transportation and there are all these people in you, and you just got a guy who's just tumbling straight through the crowd.
I mean, that would be pretty shocking. So now we're approaching on many people's favorite parts of this this kingdom, and we're heading towards community meme number 12 billion.
Yeah, we gotta get this drummer on board.
This drummer is on board. That's not even the best part.
What goes well with a drummer? Can you tell me? Well, certainly not a moon that's in the scrap metal.
I mean, that could go pretty well. Where did the drummer get their moon from? What about a bassist? That's fun.
Oh man, one thing to note, like when you're in that music hall, what happens to go on there is, the camera just pretty much inverts yourself, and you have to go backwards to get to the exit, and you can't really see what's happening, and you're just like rolling towards there, and he takes a little bit of the bonk before he gets there, but he's not doing too bad. He's keeping up with with Dram, and we got some OTEP happening.
Oh, I love, again, this community is so dumb. I love it. So now we're gonna be, both runners did Sphinx at the beginning, so they have enough money to go to Snow Kingdom first. If you're some loser like me, you go to Seaside because you don't have enough money, but they have enough money. The reason why you need money is because this is the kingdom where they'll do the second shopping trip in the game. Or in the run, rather.
Yeah, this huge blizzard. Normally you would go straight into the underground city, but we're gonna have a little visit to our friend Captain Toad. What is he doing out here in this poor weather? I guess he's fine. He's got some shelter.
One thing I really like about this game, this a little bit of charm this game has, is that a lot of moons involving Captain Toad are like really like, hey, how you doing? Just all kind of positive, good stuff. This is a good, positive, wholesome game where you make bench friends.
Yeah, it's full of good feels. I feel just all around.
I don't have a good feel when I feel cold though, and this is a cold kingdom.
All right, a little bit of bonk there for Dram, but now he's gonna go into the shop. He's gonna spend some money, get himself a moon. The thing about like buying a moon here is it's just we wouldn't be buying it. We wouldn't be buying the moon here if it wasn't like gonna make the kingdom faster. So it does just that. This area is unique in that you go into these different sections where you're collecting 2 moons at a time, and in one particular section it just takes way too long. So buying the moon there just cuts down that time, and Dram almost colliding with the wall there, sort of stopped short, and now he's gonna get himself a moon before he moves on to the sections that I just mentioned.
Yep. So, alright. Unfortunately, this run doesn't do the only good part of the game, the Bound Bowl race. But we do see some trial rooms. So the first of these trial rooms is the Wind Chill Cavern, in which you have these enemies blowing wind everywhere.
Alright, that was really good by Dram. He was able to get that cycle before the Typhoo started.
Yes.
Blowing his wind. Blowy Joey, as Dram likes to call him.
Yeah. Thank you, Dram. I very much appreciate it.
Yeah, you also have to be careful here because, again, there's that purple Kool-Aid, and you fall into that, and it's another death. And each death costs you money, so these guys are doing very well. I don't know. I don't even know if we've seen a death from either of them yet.
I mean, aside from the intentional one, no. Goron fell in the Kool-Aid back in sand after failing.
Oh, that's right. So the Jaxi ruins. That is the one, a common area where some of the players can slip up. So that was the one death, And Goron is still behind. If it wasn't for that death, he might, this might be a little bit closer. As it stands, they're still in the same kingdom, so it's still pretty close.
Yeah, he did fail Jaxie, and it's still this close a race.
Yeah, this is this is always unique to me that this is in this game where you can stack the Goombas, and you actually use this to unlock a few areas. Just gotta jump on these switches.
I believe there's a moon in like each area where there's a Goomba lass, and you have to kind of stack yourself atop all these Goombas. I'm really glad that the game put a lot of creativity into these Goomba stacking moons.
Yeah, you don't need to complete any of the trials here, so you just grab the moons and then you warp right back to Odyssey. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I mean, you still complete two because they're quick to do, but you're not required to complete them.
Yeah, we get ourselves out of that miserable cold weather, and now we're at the beach. But yeah, Dram's still keeping his lead up. And Goron's got a. Looks like he's doing okay on his splits, but if he can minimize some of these mistakes, that'll give him a good chance to maybe get himself a lead, get back into the match.
What doesn't help Goron though is that Dram is playing beautifully and has been playing beautifully for most of this.
Yeah, a few mistakes on some of the boss fights, but other than that, like, he's looking real sharp.
Definitely.
Oh man, having a bit of a rough time here in this moon cave. Finally gets the jump in there. Just took a bit of a bonk. Yeah, a lot of the movement options are based around doing an aerial cap jump and then a wall jump. So it's a really tight section there to get you the space that you need.
Yeah. You're originally intended to use a squid enemy called a Gushin in that section. Just kind of fly up there. The Gushin is interesting because it used to be a huge part of this kingdom in the old routes, but now you only use it for about like 5 seconds.
Yeah, it's a shame. I actually really like playing around with the Gushins.
I'm quite okay with not having it.
But yeah, you just go all the way over here, grab yourself a cheap, and now you're underwater, and basically all the rest of the moons in this kingdom were collected underwater. And this is what we're talking about when you go into this underground tunnel. You just collect a bunch of money. So if the players didn't have enough money to buy the moon in Snow Kingdom, they would come here to Seaside first.
Yeah. This kingdom is rich. You'd expect Metro of all kingdoms to be a kingdom with just coin stacks everywhere, but nope, that's Seaside.
I like that. I like that Spike Vegeta. He would point out that you could get a nice big dumpster full of money in the Metro Kingdom. What is it doing there?
I mean, there is a moon straight up called How Do They Take Out the Trash?
Yeah, and the dumpster's like on top of this tall girder. Aptly
This
named.
game is whack. I mean, it's a good question. It's a question I want an answer to, and I'm kind of mad I don't get an answer to.
So just one more moon for Goron. You just gotta dive down, collect this one, and then you warp back. I would say most of like if the stages don't already warp you back to the Odyssey, or if the route doesn't help you, putting you close to where you want to be. By the time you've collected all the moons, yeah, you just go straight into the menu, warp back, and yeah, these are the quickest moons that you can get in the stage.
So, Luncheon is really one of the last, basically, one of the few, and basically the last level where you're going to see possible route divergences between runners. Because there are 2 bonus rooms that each have 2 moons in them. There's Fork Flicking and there's Lava Bubble Room. And each of them, they're pretty similar in speed. I believe Fork Flicking is a little faster, but you have to do really good in Fork Flicking to actually make it faster. But Fork Flicking is a lot easier as well. So this is a one where many times in the tournament you've seen both racers doing different routes through Luncheon to do different bonus rooms.
Alright, looks like Dram's getting his revenge on Spewer back in the Wooded Kingdom. So he just nails that fight perfectly this time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. Okay, so Goron, that would have been not too bad for him, but he almost made a mistake there trying to get to the brutal fight. But he saved himself with a wall jump, and he's in there.
Yeah, somebody accidentally poured some Pepto-Bismol all in the lava here. So all the lava here is very bright pink.
Yeah, this whole kingdom is just very colorful. It just reminds me of fruit roll-ups.
Oh yes, I love purple. Yeah, no. So just like we have the purple Kool-Aid instead of the poison swamp water, many people call this kind of pink frosting type lava here the Pepto-Bismol because it's very bright pink. So I don't know why, but that just makes everything so much funnier to me when you talk about falling in the lava. But Dram getting a few moons in town, and then he's gonna head over to more of the kingdom. I don't know, the part after the town doesn't really have a name to identify the area, but...
Yeah, there's some islands over here, just with salt. Big mountain of salt right there.
That big a mountain, but it has a moon on it, so it's an important mountain salt.
But if you do it, yeah, so Dram is actually, you know, there's a cycle there that you can make that really go quickly, where you gotta wait for these lava bubbles to appear before you can catch them. So looks like his timing was just right, and he was able to capture it as soon as he got that moon on the island.
Okay. GoronJackson having a little bit of problems with the motion controls here. There he goes. He was trying to use a homing cap throw to break a box that had a moon in it. And the pan bros, the frying pan bros here, can be kind of annoying because they can just not... You can't really dictate the direction that they throw the pan in. They just kind of throw it in whatever direction they want, and sometimes that's not forward.
Yeah, you're sort of like right in front of the cheese blocks, and inside the cheese blocks are is the switch that you want to get to, and you're just like spraying and praying with these hammers, these frying pans, and I don't know. Sometimes you just get lucky.
Yeah, so it looked like Dram is gonna be doing the lava bubble room here as he skipped past the fork flicking room. And Goron is heading to the fork flicking room, so he won't be doing the lava bubble room. So here we have a bit of a route divergence. And both runners executed their, how do I word, their respective bonus room rather well.
Yeah, that's really well done. Neither of those sections look easy at all. It always sort of puts me on edge because like any sort of errant jump of some sort will just kill you. So
Yeah.
and it really looks like the lava bubble when you're shaking the controller to make it spin and go faster. It really looks like it's hard to wield them. So
Yeah.
good job by Dram.
Mhm.
He's still maintaining his lead over Goron here. So
Yeah. Goron heads to the cheese rocks. Gets a little close with them. There he goes. He in there. And for some reason, the game just kind of puts a grand moon there. And we don't really know why it's a grand moon. Like, why is that deserving of a grand moon? But hey, it's 3 moons. You're gonna take it.
it's just garnishing the stew, I guess.
Yeah, because that's definitely a good size to be a scene farce. Definitely a good size to be a garnish. So if you've been keeping up with your memes throughout this year, you'd probably know one in particular. And that is that many games, such as Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy and Cuphead, have been compared to that of Dark Souls. Well, it turns out that Super Mario Odyssey is no exception to this meme, as coming up we have what many people call the Dark Souls boss. Or the Dark Souls dragon. Or the Skyrim dragon if you don't want to compare it to Dark Souls, if you want to be an outlier to the meme.
I don't know. I think
It's
it
a
just
big
has to.
dragon.
Yeah, I think it just has to be Dark Souls.
It
You know?
could be a Twilight Princess boss, who knows? I'm pretty sure it already is a boss from Twilight Princess.
Yeah, it's definitely out of place to have this realistic sort of looking dragon that you fight in this Mario game. It reminds me of the Never-Ending Story, honestly. But
It is a very well-rendered dragon, though. But like, yeah, why is it here? We don't know. Nintendo is weird. They're probably on drugs or something. So what you can do here, you can save like a very small amount of time by when he's doing that little thing before you're allowed to attack the dragon. You can like damage boost and stand on top of his face, so that you can start getting to pulling out the sword sooner.
yeah, after each attack, there are just more needles to pull out. pretty straightforward. Not too hard.
And as we see GoronJackson just starting the fight, Dram's just finishing it. So
I want to say that maybe Goron had a bit of a slip up in the Bowser Kingdom in his PB, because he's doing fairly okay. He's keeping up with Dram at the very least. So we'll
yeah,
see if he can clutch out maybe a better Bowser Kingdom and make this race a little bit closer. One little thing and it could really just change the tide. So Goron's PB is actually a 112.46, I believe.
that's what's written on his splits. We don't know if that's a PB comparison or maybe a last run or an average.
But it definitely looks like he's capable of 111. So we'll see if he can do it here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you see Goron taking some intentional damage there. He just wants to be right on top of the dragon as soon as possible, be able to start pulling out the needles, and now he's done.
Mm-hmm. Good fight.
All right, so we're going to grab ourselves a bird here. These are called Pokios. You can climb up the wall. Dram is going to set out his cap right there. He's going to use motion controls to grab the Pokio again. And that's just a quick way of getting that moon and then teleporting back. So right off the bat, Dram looking really clean at the beginning of Bowser's Kingdom.
Absolutely.
Okay, so the second section of Bowser's Kingdom, you gotta collect these moon shards. There's 5 in total. And we'll see what Dram opts to do. It looks like he's just gonna do bird strats here, grab the Pokio again. He's going to propel himself against the wall. And this is there was a moon right over here where you use your beak and just insert it into the hole. You grab that moon instead of the one in the beginning. But now we just do the 5 moons, the 5 moon shards, and we're just finished with that section. Yeah, it looks like Goron's doing the same thing, so similar strats. Or excuse me, it took me. He made me look like an idiot. He's not doing similar strats. He just grabbed the Pokio and went to the first area. That jump right there, when you jump off the railing, always scares me. But these guys are under. These guys are better than me. They're they're calm and cool, under control. They're moving their Marios really well.
Yeah. So coming up on Dram's side, you have 2 brutal fights back to back, and you can choose which one you want to do first. And the first of the 2 that Dram is doing is Harriet, which we did not see the fight for at all throughout this run, because the last time it was available to fight Harriet was back in Sand Kingdom, and we did not do that.
Ooh, okay, so a bit of a miss there for Dram. You just gotta hit these bombs right back at her There he goes. So he's finished with Harriet, and he's gonna have to do a second topper fight that's coming up for him, and it's amped up in difficulty, but it's about the same, you know, same sort of game plan. You see, there's more hats that spawn, and Topper just has more life, so no
Dram
problem
is
for
a
Dram whatsoever. So
Great fight.
he's looking really good here in Bowser's Kingdom.
So now Dram's heading into the last section of Bowser's Kingdom, which he's going to soon be reaching the next boss, which I don't want to spoil too much about this boss until we actually get there, or rather talk too much about it. But this race has not been decided at all. This boss coming up could ruin Dram's lead.
Yeah, it could be. It could basically be like a big gatekeeper here.
I like to call it kind of the great equalizer, but maybe that's just my Zelda 1 randomizer instincts kind of rubbing off on me.
Sure, this is a good way to put it. We got some more Pokio action here. Dram, trying to get this
my
bird
goodness.
is really off the cliff
Oh,
there.
that was scary.
Yeah. But over on Goron's side, he's trying to do this topper fight, and
Yeah. He's doing Topper first, too. So based on how this Topper fight is going, and the fact that he's doing it first, I'd like to believe that maybe he has a little more problem with Topper usually over Harriet. So now coming up, Dram has Mecha Brood.
yeah, the four Brutals sort of combine and form their version of Voltron here. And then you gotta hit their weak points.
So Dram just did a really neat skip there. That was birdless. Usually for the first phase, you have to grab a bird and hit bombs at the legs to knock it over, but Dram absolutely ignored having to do that by just climbing up the mech, and it was beautiful. So far, Dram's fight has been going great. Okay. Ooh, he might not. I don't know if he'll make it back on. He made it back on. That's essentially like a perfect fight from Dram.
Yeah, Dram's on fire with this run. Minus a few mistakes here and there. I can't say anything less about his performance here.
Yeah. And getting the last moon of the run in a grand moon.
So yeah, Dram, like, basically has built up quite a big lead here, and this is his race to win. There's one more area. You go around all these kingdoms, collecting moons, and then you get to fly to the moon itself. But
Goron.
I digress. Yeah, we're gonna watch Goron. Hashtag Team Farts.
Fart.
Goron also
And-
going for birdless.
And getting it. Will he get back onto the mech, though?
Yeah, a little
He
mid-air
makes it.
spin right there. This is really nice way of keeping you aerial.
Now, a little bit of a difference is that Goron is going to be destroying Rango from the mech instead of Topper second. I believe there's a small bit of difference. I don't know if it's in the speed of the battle, but I don't know. I don't remember. It's just a bit different. Alright, now Goron just needs to make sure he gets back on top. And we have a great fight from GoronJackson as well.
Yeah, these guys are really clutching it out on the Mecha Brutal.
Yeah.
Definitely, I feel like in a race, you could get very nervous about doing that fight. But yeah, these guys are very much in control. One thing I do remember about Dram is he got here and he's gonna do a trick, and specifically he had a lot of trouble with this part. We call it the moon skip. So he's gonna set it up. He's got to throw his cap and do an aerial cap jump. You want the cap to be stuck in a certain position so that you can jump right off of it, just like that. But he needs that aerial cap jump first, and then he's gonna do 2 wall jumps. That's gonna skip a huge portion of the level.
I think he was... Nope, never mind. I thought he was going to be a bit too low and miss that wall jump, but Dram makes it up perfectly, and that's Moonskip.
Yeah, it took him a few tries. I could definitely, like... I would definitely feel really nervous, like, and...
Yeah.
You know, you keep missing a trick like that. It's like it looks simple. It looks like a very simple skip, but there are little minor nuances with it. But he's in there, and there's one more Bowser fight, and he's good to go.
So now we have the second fight against Bowser. And for the most fight, the strats that you'll use to beat Bowser quicker is the exact same as Cloud Kingdom, but not only are there more hats for you to hit back in the phases, which will make things a bit harder, but now in between phases you'll have to dodge this flamethrower attack. This does not do much to the fight, instead of just make it a bit longer than the one in Cloud Kingdom, but it's basically another Cloud Kingdom fight, but with more fire and more hats, which is all that this game needed. Oh, and more shields. We can't forget that.
Looked like Goron was trying to go for a double rocket flower strat right there, but wasn't able to get it. Saves you a little bit of time, but now he's approaching the moon skip. He's trying to get himself positioned right. There's the aerial cap jump. He gets the first wall jump. Misses the second one. Yeah, he's gonna have to try.
I don't know anything about this game. I totally thought he would get that. So now, Dram is on the final part of the game, which is this escape sequence with Bowser. You use Cappy to capture Bowser, and you try and escape the crumbling Moon Kingdom. So now GoronJackson is entering the fight against Bowser. Dram didn't go for that shortcut in the 2D section, which I don't blame him. It's really stupid and doesn't save that much time to really be justified, especially in a tourney race setting where that could have caused a huge difference. You could have given a big catch-up chance to GoronJackson.
So yeah, just to clarify, this match is the first in their group. So this is the group stage. We have a lot of entrants for this Super Mario Odyssey tournament, and with a loss here, Goron will not be eliminated. He still has, I believe, a couple other matches to do in their group. But this will be the only one that they do between himself and Dram.
Mm-hmm. So, Dram using fireballs here, so that as soon as it's destroyed, as soon as his last building is destroyed, he's right next to the center area where he needs to be.
Yeah, he just claws away at the core, and he's done with the game. Congratulations to Dram. Posting a 110, that's very impressive.
That is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, so congratulations to Dram. He finishes with an SRL time of 1 hour, 10 minutes, and 56 seconds. We're still waiting for Goron to post his time, but Dram will have the win for tonight's match.
Team art.
Yeah, so while Goron is fishing up here, just want to remind you all, you are watching the Speed Gaming channel. The Speed Gaming 4. We have 4 channels of Speed Gaming, and basically what we do here is we broadcast a lot of tournaments, a lot of speedrunning events.
There can marathons, showcase races, relay races.
Yeah, there's tons of stuff happening. There's like Link to the Past randomizer, which is really hot. We have Zelda 1 randomizer matches, Mega Man X, any percent, Mega Man 1 all stages. So
Breath of the Wild, Mario 64 70-star tournaments going on. A lot of tournaments going on, so a lot of different games to keep you interested.
Yeah, definitely a lot of variety. So if you want more information, just go to speedgaming.org and you'll see some links there for the schedule and all the upcoming events and ongoing events.
Yep. And it looks like GoronJackson's just about to finish up here. And that's a finish for GoronJackson.
Yes, he will be tonight's runner-up with a time of 1:13:33. Not too shabby.
Yeah.
And definitely, I think, keeps improving. He should be able to make it out of his group. We'll see how fierce the competition in the rest of their matches are, but not too bad of a showing. He just ran into Dram and he was playing lights out.
Yep. Mythical, what about Breath of the Wild? There's also, I believe, a tournament of the end is nigh. There's a lot of stuff going on right now. We're here to keep you interested, and we hope that we can do that on Speed Gaming. That being said, there wouldn't be any event if we didn't have any runners to play the game, so Make sure you give both our runners a follow, Dram55 and GoronJackson. They both played great today.
Anyway, thank you all for joining us and watching the tournament race. Again, Dram55 was the winner of tonight's match, and that's gonna be it for me. I gotta take off. So my name is Just Defense. Thank you, Lori, for joining me tonight.
No problem. It was a blast. And we'll be seeing. I don't believe you have anything else to say.
I'm all good.
All right.
Thanks again, guys.
No problem. I don't have anything else to say either, so we'll see you on the flip side.